Good evening, and welcome to Bring It to the Table on a Friday night. As I always say, that get to the table with a glass of wine, apple juice, milk, water, whatever your taste buds call for. But I just want you to get to the table. I pray that you've had a great week and that you're looking forward to the weekend, and that whatever you choose to do, be safe. Put that mask on and enjoy your family, your friends, your loved one. Again, welcome to Bring It to the Table. Tonight is very interesting for me because I have two people that are here with me, very dear to me, not only dear to my heart, but their family. And I don't mean extended family, I do mean family. And I'm happy about that. But before we go any further, I'm going to give you the request line. If you choose to call in, you can call 310-910-9676 extension 1. Again, I'm going to give you the request line. It's 310-910-9676 extension 1. And as I was saying earlier, a few minutes ago, that I have two young ladies here with me tonight that are very dear to my heart. And like I said, they're family, not extended family, they're family. There's so much going on in the world today that I could not ignore bringing this to the table. As you know, not only dealing with Iraq and all those things that are going on, but we're dealing with the Delta virus, we're dealing with COVID-19, and we've been dealing with it for a while. And it really don't look like it's going anywhere no time soon. So therefore, I'm bringing that to the table tonight. We're going to talk about COVID-19. And because they're dear to me and we're in their family, I've learned some things that I was not even aware that went on after or even before coming down with COVID. So tonight, this is what we're going to talk about. So gather your family, your friends, or even, text your friends and tell them to go to Bring It to the Table, YouTube, and let's hear what's going on. And especially if you know those that are not wearing a mask or choose not to be vaccinated, hey, have them come to the table. You might learn something tonight. Matter of fact, I know you're going to learn something tonight. So again, we're not going to take too much more time before getting to the table with this because an hour goes by so fast and there's so much that I want to know. So tonight, I am just happy to have both of my nieces here with me tonight. I have Melvin, I have Tracy, and I'm really surprised, especially with Tracy, because Tracy doesn't like to talk. So I'm really surprised that she's here with me tonight along with Melvin. Melvin and Tracy, welcome to Bring It to the Table, to your auntie's table. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight.
Thank you for the invite, Auntie. It's much appreciated.
Yes. Tonight, as I was just telling the listeners, we're going to talk about COVID-19 because both of you have dealt with it.
Yes.
And it wasn't nothing that was just little. It was big.
Right.
It was big. But before we talk about that, tell me about you, Melva. I know you're retired. Tell me what you were doing prior to you being retired. What were you retired from?
I retired from California State Lottery. I started with the lottery back in 1985 when it started. I started as an office technician and moved my way up to sales rep. And I retired in January of 2017, 32 years.
My. Are you enjoying retirement?
Enjoying retirement.
All right. And Miss Tracy over there, I know you retired from one industry, but you're still working. But I want to know about the industry that you retired from, because I do know that you used to have your own business. You had a printing company.
Correct.
At one time. Mm-hmm. So, and I know you kind of closed that down, and I know you went on the ship, and you was doing some things on the ship. Did you enjoy working on the ship?
I did.
You did?
I just got tired of living out of a suitcase. So I kind of stopped that.
And I know what it is about living in and out of a suitcase. Because
yes,
with me traveling all around the world, living in and out of a suitcase, yes,
mm-hmm.
indeed, I do understand that can become. But sometimes I miss it.
Yes, I do too. But
sometimes I miss it.
I just I just asked myself how long
Mhm.
was I going to do that. So I
Mhm.
thought it might be time to make a turn.
Hmm. And it's always good when you can do that and reinvent yourself
Exactly.
in something else. As a matter of fact, I have a young lady that's coming on. She'll be here on the 24th of September. She's 80, but she has reinvented herself. She's, a great artist. She draws, she paints. It's amazing. So she's coming on to talk about how she reinvented herself at the age of 80. And it's always good when you
That's
can do
wonderful.
that. Yeah, yeah. Now, tell me, when and how did you because both of you had COVID-19.
Yes.
Tell me, Melva or Tracy, whichever one, how did it all begin for both of you? Just what happened?
Well, our son. I share a son with Melvin.
Okay.
My son, Tony, and his fiance
Yes.
decided to have a destination wedding, and the wedding was in Cabo. It was on November 20th.
23rd. I think it was the 23rd.
Okay.
And so about 50 of
21st.
us went to Cabo.
How many?
About 50 of us went to
Wow.
Cabo for the wedding. Had a wonderful time.
It was beautiful.
Was it?
And we were there from Thursday to Monday, and we were just trying to figure out where we got COVID. It had to be when we were there in Cabo. The first night we were there, we went out on a dinner boat cruise. Tracy, you didn't go.
No, but
Right.
we all went to the meet and greet.
And that Friday we had a
that-
meet and greet. So everybody that came to the wedding, they were in the suite that my son and my daughter-in-law had. And wedding was that Saturday, wonderful time. That Sunday, Sarah wasn't feeling well.
Yes, the
We were out
bride.
at the pool. The bride, my daughter-in-law, she wasn't feeling well. We were out at the pool. So when we went to dinner that Sunday night, and she came out to dinner with us, and then that Monday when we got home, my son called and said that they went and got tested, and Sarah was positive. So that was the Monday before Thanksgiving. And at that time, I was living with Tracy. So that morning, that Thursday morning, I got up and went to my daughter's house to try to finish cooking. We were having Thanksgiving dinner at her house. I had prepared some meals the night before. I went to her house to finish, and I was there probably an hour, and I got chills. I couldn't finish cooking. My granddaughter and my grandson finished cooking for me, and I laid on the couch. I never ate, and Tracy came over, and she had to drive me home because I couldn't even drive home.
Well, let me ask you now. While you were on the ship, the boat or the yacht, no one felt sick.
No,
The whole time you were there, no one felt sick.
No.
that was just a Thursday. We were just out in the water for a few hours for dinner, but nobody got sick.
The bride and her sister, they seemed like just a little under the weather.
Okay, which
So-
could have been normal.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So we
Right.
just no one thought it was COVID or anything like that.
At the wedding reception, the drinks were flowing. We were having a really good time.
Sounds like it.
You know, we were eating and drinking, so nobody really had a mask on, and we were
Yeah.
out, like
Yeah, we were
out-
outside.
like
yeah.
out in the country somewhere
Yeah.
where the wedding took place and the reception. Everything was outside.
So, I just heard you say no one had a mask on. Was that because
Some
it was
people
all family,
It was
and you just felt
basically our
comfortable,
family
and you
Right.
didn't feel like
Right.
you had to wear masks, even though COVID was flowing heavy,
Right,
and but you going to Cabo,
right.
so now you're thinking, okay, we're probably away from all of that because now we're out here having a great time, and we're here in Cabo.
Right, and we
Right.
stayed
So-
at a resort, and every day all day. You saw the people that worked at the hotel.
Did they have a mask on?
They wore masks.
They wore masks,
cleaned,
they
and
were
we had to
cleaning.
wear masks while we were at the resort. It was
Okay.
a resort we were at, so it was huge. It was beautiful, and we had a good time. And
When everybody came back and they started testing, I was in denial. Every person that said I tested positive, I said it's a false positive.
Are you kidding? Why were you
I
just
don't know. I was just
in denial?
in denial. How could
because-
we get COVID?
Right.
Everybody was saying.
So you mean everybody, all 50?
probably
95%.
95% got COVID.
Oh my goodness.
And myself, Tracy, and David, my David, we had it the worst. We were hospitalized.
The three of you?
Yes.
No one else?
No.
I don't think
I
anyone
don't
else.
think anyone else was.
Now your son, your daughter-in-law, nobody else was
They
hospitalized.
just seemed to shake it off to
Right.
me, but we could not shake it off.
Right.
Because at first I was trying to take care of Melva, take care of myself with Mucinex, because I was just
Thinking it
still
was
kind of in
cold.
denial, thinking it was a cold, and it just kept progressing and progressing until it just, bam! It
It
just
is-
knocked us.
Well, she took me to get a COVID test Friday
Yes.
after Thanksgiving. So I had left my car at my daughter's house. Tracy took me home, took me to get a COVID test that Friday. And that the next few days after that, we were out of it. My daughter, Tracy, she's a state police investigator. She took off work and came to take care of us. So
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long did you guys stay in the hospital?
I was in there about
I thought you went 3 times. I thought, but
twice. I think.
twice.
The second time they thought I was having a stroke. Yeah.
Why? What was the symptoms for them to think that you were having a stroke?
I started stuttering. And to this day, I still stutter. I still can't get some of my words out. I started stuttering. I was feeling really bad. I felt like I was getting numb on.
Yeah, you said your face was.
My face was feeling really numb. I called my niece, who's an RN. She lives in Arizona, but I called her and I told her, and she talked to Tracy, and she FaceTimed so she could see my face, and she told Tracy to call the ambulance. That was the second time I went.
So now, the first time you went, was that when your daughter had taken you, or Tracy had taken you?
No, you went by ambulance twice, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, I
okay.
went by ambulance.
So was it because you just couldn't do anything? Tracy couldn't do. Both of you just couldn't do
We
anything. Your body was what? Just
Weak.
We
okay.
could not eat.
We couldn't
We
eat.
couldn't drink.
Couldn't walk.
We could barely move. We could
Right.
just make a few steps, and then we had to hold on,
Right.
catch our breath, and then make a few more steps.
So it sounds like it just takes over your whole body.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
does.
I never had a fever.
Brain
though.
included.
You didn't have a fever either, did you?
I never had a
We
fever.
never had a fever. That's why when you go to places and they say, let's take your temperature, I'm like,
We laugh at that.
right, because we never
Yes.
had everybody doesn't have a fever.
Right.
You have the asymptomatic people who have nothing unless they don't know unless they get tested that they are a carrier. You know, somebody could be around you feeling good, looking good, and they're a carrier.
Yes.
And you never know that someone is a carrier. And that's the asymptomatic person that you don't know that they're a carrier. So, yeah, it was pretty hard for us. And I'm still suffering from COVID. I'm considered a long hauler. I still have breathing issues. I can't overexert myself. If I stand up too long washing dishes, if I drive too much, it takes a toll on me.
I'm going to get back to that long haul, but I just heard you say something, Tracy, when you said takes the brain.
Yeah.
Tell
didn't
our
say
listeners
anything.
about that, about the brain. What is it?
Well, I didn't say anything at first, but I noticed that in the middle of things. And I could be right in the middle of things. I would forget what I was doing.
Well, I hope I ain't got it, because sometimes I'm in the middle of something and I forget, because I mean, I do sometimes say, oh, wait a minute. What was I going over there for? What
And
was I going to
that's
do?
what we talk about.
But her
we
daughter-
already had,
That.
Yeah.
Right.
CRS.
Yes, right.
And now it's even worse
But-
because of COVID.
Tracy, little Tracy is what we call her daughter,
Right.
followed me into the room because I was going to do something on my phone. So I went, I sit down on the couch, and I just sit there staring at the phone. Evidently, she had picked up on it that I was really forgetting, and then she told me what I was doing on the phone, and I thought, maybe this is, a real problem. But I didn't want to say anything. Because I really thought, my first thought was Alzheimer's.
Okay. And I could see that.
And it scared the bejeebies out of me. But then somebody else said something about COVID brain, and I was so grateful, because not that I want COVID brain, but I didn't want Alzheimer's.
Times either, right.
So then I said, oh, so it's not just me.
Okay.
And I still have it to this day. And nobody diagnosed me with being a long hauler, but I do. There's a lot of I just don't remember.
Now, when you both was in the hospital, what did they do? I mean, how do they treat a person that comes in with COVID? What do they
I
do?
can't remember the name of the medicine that they give you. I can't
That's
remember
okay.
the name of it, but they give you that to counteract or help you heal quicker. That's what they said. It helps you heal. I don't think that was it. It was, could be, but whatever they gave us, it helps you heal quicker.
Now, does that depend on the degree of the COVID that you
Yeah,
have?
yes,
Yeah.
it
Because
does.
you know
Because
you've
you
got a
didn't
lot of.
get it.
I didn't get it, but what
Right.
they did was give me saline intravenously, because they said I was so badly dehydrated, I had blood in my urine.
Okay.
But I couldn't drink
Right.
if I wanted to. I
Right.
could not do it. So that's what they gave me, and I was grateful to get that.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
then I felt like that's less that I would have to drink. So
Right.
and
Right.
and I left the same day.
Okay.
Melva, on the other hand,
Had to stay.
had some issues.
Right.
Yeah, they had oxygen sent to the house for me when I got home. I was on oxygen probably a month after, well into January. I was on oxygen, and I have an inhaler now because of my breathing. It's so hard for me to breathe normal, I think.
Okay.
It's just, but I'm dealing with it. I'm glad I'm here. God bless me, all my prayer warriors out there. I thank
Yes,
them
thank
all
you.
because
Right.
everybody was praying
Oh, yes, we
for
were.
us.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's with the breathing. It sounds almost like a person with what they call they have the COPD,
Right.
because people with COPD. I mean, really,
Right.
my
And bad lungs.
and I'm gonna eventually probably have her on too. My best girlfriend, and as you all know, Blinky. Blinky suffers with COPD real bad. She can't walk from here to there. Sometimes we're saying, hey, I just can't.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it also takes over, just like
Right.
COPD.
And everybody has different side effects from
Symptoms,
it,
yeah.
different symptoms. A lot of people I know just got sick, just didn't feel good for a few days.
Had a headache and
Right,
just shook it off.
right.
Do you worry when you get a headache now? Do you think do it take you back to a head? Is this coming back on me?
Yes.
Okay.
All the time. All
It
the
does.
time. And even how people were saying that they lost their taste and their smell. I always smell something cooking now.
Okay.
It-
Where you couldn't before.
No, it's just there's nothing cooking.
She's just smelling.
You-
I'm just
something.
smelling something
Right.
like something's cooking.
Right.
So it sounds like to me this alters your whole being.
It
Because
does.
my appetite is not the same.
It
I
does.
eat because I
You
have
have
to
to.
eat. Because I have an appetite for nothing except sweets.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only thing I have an appetite for is sweet.
So if you don't make yourself eat just because you know it's something you have to do,
I
you
don't.
you could really, I don't want to say damage, but you can really harm yourself
Right.
physically
Yeah.
Right.
if you don't eat.
Right.
Because with you not saying, "Oh, I'm hungry,"
Right.
Right.
not
does
to. It
nothing.
does nothing for you. So
Nothing for
therefore,
me.
you don't. You'll just be going every day, just going
Right,
on.
right,
And when you look
right.
up, it could be day in, day out, month in, month out. You haven't really eaten. So
Right,
you
right.
just saying, "Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and eat something,"
Right.
not knowing whether you're hungry or not.
Right. And I still, unfortunately,
When we were in the
don't eat
midst
like
of
I
it,
should.
if little Tracy hadn't been there to make us eat and drink,
Mhm.
we probably just would have sat in the same spot, just withered
Right.
away.
She was in her room in her bed. I was in my room in my bed, and
We
we just laid there. And so many things changed for me. I don't know if they changed for you, but I've talked to you about this. Having COVID that bad, it just kind of opened up my eyes really to what's important in
Exactly.
life to me.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was the type of person I never went to sleep without my TV being on. After COVID, I just turn my TV off now. I go to sleep, and I just know what's important to me now. Things before, they're not important. I know what's important to me now. What's really important to me for me,
Right. Right.
and I like now. I'm just trying to get through everything, and my family is there, my children. I love you guys. Thank you so much because they're right there taking care of me and Tracy.
Yes.
It's something when it comes to what will open our eyes to life
Right, right,
and it'll make you stop and think.
right,
Where before we didn't think about a lot of things. We did this, we did that, we went
Right.
on here, we went on there. But sometimes something to go
right,
Yes.
right,
to make you say,
right,
"Oh,"
right.
and you lean back.
And
And
I
say,
know that
"Hey."
I could have been gone. I know that God kept me here for a purpose. And I'm going to try to fill that purpose because I know He kept me here for a purpose, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
Tell me about long hauler, because when you just hear, we don't hear this not unless you know someone that have dealt with COVID, but just hearing it on the news of people, going to the hospital, being sick because they have COVID, but all the other things that come along with it after
Right.
being diagnosed with it,
Right.
we don't hear about it.
Right.
So maybe some do and some don't, but I know I hadn't until you mentioned long hauler. So
Yeah.
tell me about long hauler.
It's just, I guess, it's just because I had COVID so severely. I'm just dealing with, like I said, the still being tired, can't overexert myself, and it's so crazy. I drive and I get tired. In my house, I have my granddaughter cleaning up my house for me now because I can't even do that anymore.
What about you, Tracy? Are you a long hauler too?
I haven't been diagnosed, but I know that I still have symptoms. I still have the headaches, and every now and then I get the shortness of breath, and I think I have some problems with the moving around because now I'm
you're
just always
equilibrium?
tired.
Okay.
What was the question?
I've been saying, but you said something about the moving, so it's your equilibrium. That's
No, that's fine. It's just, I just know sometimes when I go to work, I hit the ground and I'm moving real fast. I'm just not moving that fast anymore.
Right.
okay.
I'm not even, that sure-footed. I'm moving, but not like I used to
Like
be.
you used to.
And I'm waiting for it to come back.
Right.
But the thing is, with the long haulers, they have no idea how long
Right.
it's going to be.
My doctor said they have no idea. She said because I was so sick, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. They don't know. The only good thing that came out of COVID for me, I was a serious allergy sufferer. I don't have allergies anymore. I don't.
because that whatever that is
Right.
takes over
Right.
everything.
Right.
And
It
I guess
affects
that
your entire body.
yes, and I guess that's the reason why I say people that have underlying conditions
Which we both have.
Mm-hmm.
have to be very careful
Right.
Very, yes.
because they have an underlying condition.
Right.
Now, this is for both of you. So, yeah. Did you take the COVID the vaccine?
Yes.
Where were you mentally when this all came out? Was it something that you was going to do or not do, or did you just do this because of you both have wind up with COVID?
Well, I decided right away when they said it was available, when it comes available for my age group, I am going to take the shot absolutely because I had COVID, and I'm thinking whatever the shot can do to me, it won't be worse than COVID.
Right.
And I definitely wanted to take the vaccination.
So this was after you had COVID.
Yes.
So let me ask you, if you hadn't never had COVID, and you guys came back, would you have taken the vaccine?
I would have.
I would because also because it's a virus,
Right.
and viruses can affect your heart, and I don't need anything messing with my heart.
Okay, because that's your underlying condition.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm gonna bring this back again. If you had not had an underlying condition, would you have taken that vaccine?
Probably yes.
Okay.
I get flu shots.
Okay. Okay.
It could be something wrong with it, sure. And it not. I mean, we take a chance every time we get on the freeway.
Right.
So I'm prepared to do that.
Okay. What
Right.
about yourself? Would you?
Same. I would have taken it either way. I mean, even though last year was the first year I had taken the flu shot and the pneumonia shot in probably 30 years, I took it before COVID. And, well, Tracy said she told me to take it.
I
but-
did. I text you.
But I took my pneumonia and my flu shot, and I think I would have taken the vaccine regardless. I mean, had I gotten COVID or not. But I mean, we had to wait 3 months
Okay. After.
Right.
after.
Yes.
After
Okay.
you have COVID, you have to wait 3 months.
Okay.
And they were probably closer to our age anyway.
Yes.
They
Okay.
did the 80s and 70s, and but
Do you think that by you taking the flu shot and the pneumonia shot, do you think that helped your immune system
I really
when you
believe.
been catching COVID?
Yes, I truly believe that flu shot and that pneumonia shot, I think had I not gotten those shots, I probably would not have made it. My daughter is a juicer. She didn't catch it, her or her son.
And were they?
Yes.
Okay.
Right in the
Yes,
mix.
Right there.
And they never
were
got it.
Both in the.
Really?
I told my grandson he's too busy running around.
Yeah,
He couldn't catch
COVID
him.
couldn't catch
my
him.
daughter is a juicer. Tracy is a juicer, so she drinks all the green juice. And when she was taking care of us, she made them for us as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, but she didn't get it. So I'm like, hey, maybe
She
all
still
that.
hasn't.
She still hasn't.
Now, did she take? Did she,
She
take the?
did not.
She didn't take the vaccine.
And she works for the state at a hospital. She's a state police, and she has to get it like 3 times a week.
The,
The
she, has,
testing.
I'm sorry.
she has to go and have
Test,
be
yes.
tested 3 times a week.
Yes. Yes.
Because she just back up on it.
And I'm like, after you saw TT and I, you still don't want it. She's like, but you know,
you've got
everybody.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people still won't
Right.
get it, and they're just.
I just figured it was because they never had COVID. But some of them did have it, but they just didn't have it bad like we did.
Right.
So if you
Right.
had it as bad as we did, you'd be running for that
You think
shot.
so?
Yes.
You'd be-
Yeah.
Because I know that Tracy and my children thought I was a goner.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
When they
did.
took her away in that ambulance, the first time, all I could think about was, okay, people that left in the ambulance, most of them never came back. A lot of them didn't come back.
Mm-hmm,
That's all I could think about, and I was just hilarious. I mean, not hilarious. I was hysterical.
Yeah.
But she left.
And
in the
about an
ambulance.
hour later, I left in the
You're kidding?
ambulance.
Yeah.
On the same day?
Same day. Same day.
Yeah.
You just got so weak.
Yeah. I thought my kidneys were shutting down, so that's why I said I think I better go.
So now, did you call for an ambulance, or who was there to call?
Did I call? I think I called.
You just knew it was just a feeling within your body
Yes.
to know that, hey, something is wrong. And this is the reason why I don't understand when people say they don't understand, they don't know their bodies. I think
Right.
everybody needs to know their body.
Right.
Yes.
You know when you're feeling good and when you're not feeling
Right.
good.
Right.
And it's hard to say to someone you should get the vaccine,
Right.
or you shouldn't get the vaccine. It's really up to the individual,
It is.
because you have those that are vegan,
Right.
you have those that are vegetarians, and they just don't believe in, just like your daughter, a juicer. They just believe in the natural thing, so
Right.
they won't go and get it. But I don't know. Sometimes that's hard because you still can come down with it.
Yeah.
It's hard to see, and I kind of wish she would, but I mean, it's her choice.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
her choice, and,
Yes.
and so far, I mean, her body, it's working for her because she has not caught it.
And that's it. Now, this booster,
Mm-hmm.
are you
Oh, exactly.
Gonna take-
Yes,
Immediately.
For sure.
Okay.
As soon as we can get it,
Okay.
as soon as they get to our age group,
okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna. If I have to take it every month, I would take it.
You would take it.
Yeah.
I don't wish COVID on my
No one.
worst enemy. I don't even have enemies, but I just I don't want anybody to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
It was just
It's hard to even describe how bad you feel with it.
right.
Really?
Yeah, it was just really bad, like almost like we were zombies or something.
Yes.
Did your body ache?
Yes.
Was it
Yes.
an aching?
Yes. Aching, weak, just can't do. The bathroom was probably, here's my room, here's the bathroom. It seemed like it took me forever just
Really?
to walk
Yes.
across the hall to the restroom.
Yes. You had
Was-
to stop a couple of times just to go.
Because you had no energy.
None.
And doing that without having any energy, was your body in pain? Was your body aching then during that time, as you would try to go?
Aching, not really painful, just achy. I guess like flu symptoms. Just body is just achy and your head is just discombobulated.
Yeah.
And it's almost like an out of body experience.
The one thing you could do really well though is sleep.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I think if no one was there, we probably could have slept 20 out of 24 hours.
Yes.
That's what the body wanted to do. Yeah,
Right.
but that's probably its way of fighting. It's like you need to lay down
Uh-huh.
and rest.
Rest. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the way I feel, and I still feel that way sometimes, and it makes me wonder.
When you feel that way, do you listen to the body and go and lay down, or do you just keep moving? Because I know you're still working.
Sometimes
So-
I keep moving. If I have to go to work, I keep moving. But if not, if it's my days off, I lay down.
How do you deal with it at work when that hits you? Because like I said, you're working. So how do you deal with the fatigue? Because it's just like you're tired. So how do you deal with that at work?
I just keep going. Just
Press your way through? You
just kind of press my way through. Look at the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's basically all. That's
Yeah.
all I do.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
tough.
God I'm not doing really hard work. But,
Okay.
you know, that's what I mean, the hardest part is getting up to
Is
go.
it?
Yes. Yes. The hardest part is to not hit that snooze button. Because I hit snooze so many times.
And I guess that's because your body
Yes.
is just
not
is
ready.
just not ready to get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all because of this.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Because, you know, I was always an early riser,
Yeah, she used to be.
but I'm not anymore. I get up about 6 o'clock, I open my blinds and turn off my porch light, and I get back in the bed. Like today, I didn't get out of the bed until 11 o'clock.
Really?
If I don't have anything to do, I stay in the bed at least until 10 or 11 o'clock. The only time I get up early like I used to is if I have something to do. Other than that, my body has to get its rest, so I just stay in the bed until I know that my body
Okay.
is ready for me to get up
To get
and
up.
start moving around. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's
Where do you, I know it's, and we just mentioned this, I know it's hard because everybody, you know, do what's best for them. And because the both of you have dealt with this and you know the aches and pains of it, you know the insides and outs of it, what would you tell the listeners out there that have not had their vaccine?
Oh,
Same.
I would tell them, get the vaccination and wear a mask continuously until
Yeah.
this is completely over.
right.
Because if you get unlucky enough to have it as bad as we had it, you guys didn't think we were going to make it.
Right.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
I think most of the family thought we were not
Right.
going to make it.
Right.
And we weren't so sure either.
Right.
So, I mean, just to even put yourself through that.
And what you just said, you didn't think you were going to make it.
I
So
wasn't
that's
sure.
so you know what? That's another stress
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
on the body
Right.
while the body is going through what it's going through.
Right.
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 You know.
Because
wasn't
that,
sure.
Yeah, that
And-
second time when I thought I was having a stroke, I looked at my daughter because I'm thinking I'm not going to see her anymore. Then my son and my daughter-in-law came over and they were looking at me, and you know, I could see in their face
The fear.
you know.
And you know, now we're dealing with the Delta virus.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is attacking people who are not vaccinated. The majority of the people who are getting the Delta now are people who are not vaccinated, and children. Mississippi,
Oh, yeah.
so many people in that state will not get the vaccine. I just saw a 13-year-old little black girl in Mississippi died from COVID. They have hospitals in Mississippi that don't even have pediatric doctors.
I
now.
just saw that the other night on
Yes.
CNN.
Don't even have.
I missed that.
They don't have.
They
yeah,
don't.
They don't have pediatric doctors. All these babies, these kids are getting sick from the new Delta variant, and people who are not vaccinated are getting it.
Now, and this is what they're saying. This is for either one of you to answer, for both of you. With this Delta virus, and knowing that your body has been attacked with the COVID, how do you feel? What is your fear? Although they're saying it's those that have not been, but because you have dealt and been down this road with COVID-19, what is your feeling now, and how do you feel with this Delta virus? What are you thinking?
I feel just not afraid, but just careful. I just
Right.
want to be careful.
Being aware
Not
of our
to get it
surroundings,
again.
being careful because we can get it again.
Yeah.
We can.
You can get COVID again, or with the Delta virus?
we can
Okay.
get
We can
that.
get any of it
Yes,
again.
we can
It,
get
it may not
again.
be as bad on us because we've been vaccinated, but we can still get it again. Nobody said it was a miracle shot that you'll never catch anything if you get it. They just
Right.
said you probably will not end up in the hospital.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's a big plus for me.
Right.
You know, I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to spend time there with so many other people that has the virus.
Right.
That's like the last place I want to go.
Right. hold that thought before you turn. I'm going to take a minute here because I have a shout out. I need to say thank you to someone that's very dear to me. I just got a new sponsor, and really they're not new because they support me so much, and I want to say thank you to Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. They've sent in a donation. I just want to say thank you. And like I said, they just don't only support me with this, but they support me all the way around. They've just always been there for me, and I just want to say thank you for their donation and becoming a new sponsor here for Bring It to the Table. I also want to send a shout out to Mr. Lehman Scott, because Lehman is the one that wrote and produced this music that you hear, my opening song, which is called Her Mystical Journey, which I was introduced to him in the very beginning, and it was something that I was trying to decide on what kind of song I needed, and I told him a little bit about my story, and he said, well, let me give me a minute and let me get back to you on something. And a couple of days later he called me, says, I want you to listen to something, and this was the song. It's called Her Mystical Journey, and I fell in love with it. And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Lehman Scott. And not only that, if you have something that you want to him to come up with and produce for you, go to his website, because he's very talented, and I'm quite sure there may be something there that you might already want. And it's called Less Word Music. I'm going to spell it for you because it's spelled a little bit different. It's LESWORDMUSIK. Less Word Music Production.com. Check his website out. And also I want to send a shout out to Mr. Glenn Gamble. Glenn has a mobile detailing business, and I'm telling you, it's on the rise. If you want that car nice and shiny, and if you want it smelling good, like I know you men love having your car looking good, and you got some women that like having it looking good as well, check him out. He has a detailing business called Exclusive Auto Touch, and you can go to his website, and it's eatdetailing.com, and that's EATDETAILING.com. Check him out. Now, if you want that ceramic coating, if you mention that you've heard this on this podcast, he'll give you $150 off. I'm telling you, that must be having that is expensive. I'm telling you. Yeah, the ceramic coating. So check him out. And I'm not just saying it because he's Glenn Gamble, but I'm telling you, he's licensed and certified, which most detailers are not. But he went to school to become licensed and certified in this business, so he know it. Check him out. Again, I want to thank Billy and Marilyn, and also Less Word Music Production, Lehman Scott, and also Mr. Glenn Gamble over there at Exclusive Auto Touch. Go, if you want to call him, you can. That's 626-328-0435. Check him out. Okay, let's get back, because we don't have but a few more minutes, and I'm learning a lot here. And I just want to say first, before anything, I want to let you know, both of you, I may not say it often, but I know you know how I feel. I love you both dearly.
We love you too.
And I'm telling you, that was a scary time for the whole entire family.
Yeah. We
Really.
weren't aware of all the prayer and everything going on, but
And, I'm a firm believer in prayer.
Yes.
Prayer works.
Yes, it
And
does.
it's like, if you're going to worry, why pray? If you're going to pray, why worry?
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Because the two don't go hand in hand. You got to do one or the other.
Right.
I rather prayer. And matter of fact, in the month of December, I'm having a whole month of prayer, and I'm having different ones come on. I'm doing a panel of prayer with other evangelists. It's going to be awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah, every Friday, because we need it. And I why wait until December? But prayers all the time. But there's some other things that we're getting ready to do. I should say that bring it to the table is getting ready to do leading up to that. But yeah, we were very frightened, and my other niece Pat, I mean, she was really, really, really frightened.
She's
You
a
know.
road dog.
Yes, yes, yes. But again, having that is something else. But before we finish, I want Melva to send a shout out to. She's got something that's coming up soon. What month is that, Melva?
October, and
Tell them about it.
I am a part of the IE Divas, and we're out of the Inland Empire. Every year we have a women's expo, and we have it for the month of October because that's Cancer Awareness Month for women. And our founder, Aditra, she's a cancer survivor. And we're having our women's expo October 16th, and it will be held at the World Outreach Event Center in San Bernardino. The general admission tickets are $20. If you'd like to get a ticket, you can contact myself at my email is mjrobinson57@gmail.com. And again, that's October 16th from 11 to 6.
And who's the gentleman there that?
DeMarco Morgan from
Yeah.
Channel 2 News
Yeah.
will be our guest speaker, our host, rather. He'll be our host. And we have lots of other women that will be on our Boss Lady panel. And we have models, we have lots of vendors that will be there. And it's all to support Cancer Awareness Month for October.
Amen. And that's great because also that month I'm doing a panel also for breast cancer. So I'll have different ones coming on to speak on cancer, not only just breast, because people would be amazed to know the different type of cancer that's out there. It's so, I mean, you'd be amazed of the different type of cancer that people have, that women have, and not only women but men. So, and I'm doing something different in November because cancer do strike men. So November is the month for men. I have a panel of men that's coming on to talk about their breast cancer, and it's amazing because one gentleman wants to talk about breast cancer. He had breast cancer.
And I realized that I think it's been about maybe 10, 15 years ago that I saw somewhere that men have breast cancer. I mean, I didn't even realize that until probably 15 years ago.
Yeah. So he's coming on, and when I reached out to him, he said, "Oh, of course, because I want men to be aware. I want people to be aware, and also I want women to be aware that this is a journey that they're not by themselves on.
Yes.
You know, and it's so good. We have to, as women, understand men go through pretty much the same challenges that we do in some areas.
Yes.
And I say that because last week I had the gentleman on, DeWitt Brown, to talk about grief from a man's standpoint of view, because he lost his daughter, and she was grown. But it doesn't matter. It still was a daughter. It doesn't matter, you know. And a lot of times, we as women, we put our arms around the woman. We ask the man how he feels, but we don't really get deep into his real true feelings. So it was very interesting to hear him last week, and so now I'm looking forward to the men that's coming on in November. But anyway, again, let's get back to you. Where do you see yourselves with this? Physically as well as mentally, where do you see yourselves?
Physically, I just kind of take it day by day. I can, one day at a time, because I try to make sure that I get rest, but sometimes I do too much and go too much, and I'm aware of that, and I just made a promise to myself that I'm going to stop going so much. I mean, even if it's just a family something, or just because I always make myself available.
Right, you do. You've always been that way.
And I think I'm gonna have to start saying no now sometimes because I do too much, I go too much, I'm always trying to help people. And that, I believe, if I just stop and rest for a while, I'll be okay. Mentally, it's taken a toll on me, like I said, but I think for the better because of where I am mentally now, because of this, what I went through with COVID and what I'm trying to do now in my life. I'm
It makes a lot of sense.
like you said about reinventing yourself. I've been retired for 4 years, and there's some things that I wanted to do, but I couldn't do them because of COVID. Hopefully this year, before this year is out or next year, I'll be able to do what I wanted to do. So
Yeah. What about you, Tracy?
Well, I'm praying that the brain fog goes away permanently, and just trying to make myself realize that I don't always have a lot of time, because you have time for that later. There's no guarantee.
right.
That's right.
And we came close, and I'm thinking maybe you should do some of the things you want to do now.
Exactly.
You know, and I think I mentioned this earlier. It's amazing how things come about to make you alter and reinvent,
Correct.
especially when you almost at that door that you don't want to go to so soon. But it's a door we all gonna have to walk through.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We go through that door differently, but it's a door we all have to go through.
Right.
So when you get close to that door before you want to go to it, it makes you pull back. It makes you look at.
Reevaluate.
You have to.
Right.
You have to.
Evaluate.
You have to. And I think one thing is that a person should always think about doing what's best for them.
Yes.
And I think I was mentioning to you guys a little bit earlier, because I'm going to get through the Cancer Month and then the prayer month of December, but come January, I'm turning this around to talk about the everyday struggles that we have.
Yes.
And there are many.
And there's
Yes.
many. So I'm letting my listeners know now, it may not be a lot of special guests because there's some things that I want to talk about because I want you to call in and talk to me about it.
Right.
You know, and we have to get to that point where, you know what, it's not about you. It's
Right.
about me.
Right.
But it's also about the Lord.
Exactly.
You know? We
Exactly.
have to understand that. And it's not that you're being selfish. It's not that you don't care. But you have to turn things around, because if you don't, when you look up, that's just like me with being an amputee. I had to turn things around. I had to reinvent myself.
Right.
Right.
You know, there was things that I didn't take time to do. As it's like, for instance, like I didn't take time to do tennis, but now I play it.
Yeah.
I had to let this happen to me in
Right.
order to start playing tennis.
Right. Well, tomorrow I was actually supposed to be leaving on a 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise by myself, even though my cousins didn't believe that I was going by
I
myself.
believed you.
I really was, because I needed that time. I had a room with a balcony because I like to sit on the balcony. I love the ocean, but I canceled it because of the Delta variant. I
Yes.
don't want to be stuck out in the ocean
Of course.
For-
And that's good.
for 30 days, but I was going to do that by myself. And, you know, my son was suggesting that I go to one of his Airbnbs. I'm like, that's in the desert. I want
Right.
to see the ocean.
Well, you know, you can do that after all this, you know, goes away. And I think it's good for everybody at one time or another to take some time
Yes.
by yourself,
Right.
to just take that deep breath
Yes.
and see where you are
And that's
in
what
life.
I wanted to do.
You know, when we get to a certain age, we have to see where we are,
Yes.
because we know where we've been, but we don't know where we're going.
Exactly.
So when you can take that time to say, hey, you know what, let me take a deep breath. Let me just be by myself. I used to do this once a month. I used to go get a room at the Marriott. I didn't tell nobody, cut my phone off, because I didn't want to be bothered.
Mhm.
I used to go stay a weekend just to get into me,
Right.
just to breathe and get into me.
Mhm.
I used to do that. And at the time, I could do it because my son was in the Marines. You know, he was away, so it was okay. But I needed that time for me and to just open up the book
Mhm.
on me.
Yes.
And I think it's always good to be able to do that. And
Right.
And
when
that
this is
was my
over,
plan.
you do that when it's
But
over.
I might just go, like you said, to get a hotel room somewhere with the ocean view and stay for a
For
few days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and just and let everybody know, okay, I'm over here, but please don't call me.
Mhm.
Right.
Um, if something happens down at the hotel, at the front desk, they'll know who to contact. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But until
Right.
then, don't bother me. I just need that time. And Tracy, you need to do that for yourself as well.
I think she should too.
You do, Tracy. You need to do that for yourself.
And even though she lives by herself, I live by myself, you still just need to
Get away.
away.
You get away.
Yeah.
Just
you
get
need to get
away.
away.
I can do that.
Yeah, I'm by myself, but
Yeah.
still, because it's still the everyday hustle and bustle of what's going on in the house. I got to do this, got to pick this up,
Right.
the telephone
Life.
said, da 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 da
Yeah.
da da.
Life.
But when you
Yes.
don't have to do that, then it's good. It's good. Well, I've enjoyed having my nieces and them here with me tonight, and I hope that what they've said have helped someone out there to be able to go out there and get that shot, that
I hope
vaccine,
so.
or
Yes.
put a mask on them.
Let's wear our mask, everybody. Wear
Please
our
do.
mask and get vaccinated if you believe in it.
That's it. As I always say on Friday night, peace, one love, until we meet again. God bless.